Welcome back. I'd like to welcome everybody back to another episode. Today's episode is going to be about NASCAR Heat 4, something I'm looking forward to. Points and pieces I'm looking forward to having in the game. Something they can fix, tweaks, and stuff like that. Number one is the story mode, the storylines in the weekend. Like who's the fastest, who crashed in qualifying, changed motors, failed tag. Instead of seeing it on the screen, is somebody to read it out, like the MRN guys they had under 2004. They had those guys pretty much doing the same thing, except they would, instead of you reading it, you can hear them say it, and it didn't go by so fast. Another thing that they can do, something I'm looking forward to not doing, is a track map. Never in my life have I ever seen a race car driver with a track map in their car. That doesn't make sense. It's not real. I mean, as much as these guys want realism in their game, in a console game, they've never ever in the world ever had a track map in the car. I drove short track cars in mid 2000s, and I never once had a track map. So it doesn't make sense. I don't know why anybody would have one of those, because it's not real. Number two would be getting the rules right. Why the hell, on the final lap of the race, if you had a wreck, why is it not throwing the white flag? I mean, throwing the green, the checker flag with the caution flag. Last lap, after you pass the start-finish line, going on the final lap, and if there's a caution, that should end the race. NASCAR Heat 3 does not do that. It only does that in the overtime. I don't get that. I think they need to work on that a little bit, kind of tweak it, getting it to work better. Number two would be get the AI, or number three, getting the AI to look more like an actual race, spread out a little bit. Top five, you'll have between 3 to 4 seconds between top first to fifth, depending on where you are. 10 through 20th, they're usually within 10 seconds. 20th all the way to the end, to the 40th now. They have probably good 10, 20 seconds, 20 to 23 seconds back. So there's a huge gap in between them after about 5-6 laps. That doesn't make sense for them to be like every car on top of each other. Now, this is only at certain tracks. Daytona and Talladega, I get it. It's going to happen. Now, something like Texas, Charlotte, Kansas City, those cars should not be on top of each other. I mean, there's going to be a few, yes. I mean, if you watch the races, it's going to happen. But you don't have a cluster like 10, 15 cars right there together. It doesn't make sense. They can tweak that, which is better than last year. I'll give you that. It's much better than Heat 2. Another thing they can probably do is the physics. Never should you ever let off the gas and almost spin completely out. It doesn't make sense. Only if you hit the brakes hard enough, the car will kind of jump around on you. If you let off the gas, it'll kind of get a little bit tighter, so you kind of like ease on the brake, so it makes it a little bit easier to drive through the corner. Rotate through the corner. If they're able to do that, tweak that a little bit, that would be good. Now the silly season, I've heard some people talk about silly season, and I think I've heard something about they're not being able to do that because of contracts through certain teams, cars, drivers, etc. like that. What they could do would be, seeing as how most of your big time cup cars have Busch Series teams or the Xfinity Series teams. Now maybe let's see, Clint Boyer retires, and they get Cole Custer to drive the car from Xfinity Series, go up there, and they get a fantasy driver to drive the car he's in. I mean, you can do the silly season and do it that way instead of like putting Tony Stewart in a freaking Toyota for next year. Doesn't make sense. Nope. And also, you have your retiring drivers. I don't think I've seen a driver retirement since Thunder. Maybe it was probably it might have been. Nope. Now that I think about it, the last time I seen a retired driver was Total Team Control 2005. I did see that there. They were able to bring up other drivers, like fantasy drivers, or somebody from a Xfinity team. That would be good. Unlockables, something else that can be done, I think could be done. I mean, you can get to unlock like kind of like Thunder 2004, where you were able to unlock sponsors, fantasy tracks, like a nighttime Watkins Glen. And maybe, I mean, it doesn't make sense why you can't do this, but maybe unlock Dord to drive the Cup cars. Make those unlockables. That would be pretty good. I mean, yeah, I'd enjoy it. I'd do it. I'd actually sit there and try to get all the unlockables out myself, because that's what I used to do with the other games. Anytime there was an unlockable, I was there doing it. Took my time, done it. Now, today, got a 7-year-old, so can't spend a lot of time on it, but it would be fun for other people that do have the time, which I'm sure they do, because I've seen some people that's raced 200 races in a weekend. So that would be good. Unlock different cars, different paint schemes, stuff like that. Now, when it comes to paint schemes, it's weird, but if they do the paint schemes, you don't really need a whole paint booth. Okay, what you can do is kind of like what they got now, the templates. Make a bunch more templates. I mean, that would work for me. I mean, you can always change the colors if you want. It's not that big a deal. I mean, obviously, numbers. I know you're not going to be able to unlock all the numbers or get all the numbers, but get a little bit more than what you got now. 4 or 5 numbers just doesn't make any sense. There's a bunch of numbers out there that's not in use. I mean, why can't you get those? I know they said something about working on them, but hopefully that's in there for the next. For NASCAR Heat 4, different numbers. I mean, they're not bad. Like I said, just something to look forward to for the next race, next game. That's something I'd like to see. And that's about it. I mean, if there's anything else, let me know. If you like what you see, stick around. Hit subscribe if you want to. Comment down below. Let me know what it is you think, what you're looking for, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks.